Thanks for coming to the Triad. The show will be starting momentarily.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Triad Theater. Please keep your phones on silent. And now, would you please welcome to the stage Adrienne Haan in White Christmas at the Triad with Richard Danley on piano.
Everything about it is appealing, everything that traffic will allow. Nowhere could you have that happy feeling when you are stealing the next bow. There's no people like the show, people they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far, that night you open and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they found the star. Let's go on with the show. The cowboys, the tumblers, the hustlers, the clowns, the roustabouts that move the show at dawn. The music, the spotlight, the people, the town, your baggage with the labels pasted on, the sawdust and the horses and the smell, the towel you've taken from the last hotel. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, everything that traffic will allow. Nowhere could you have that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra bow. There's no people like the show, people like no people I know. Even with the turkey that you know will fold, you may be stranded out in the cold. Still you wouldn't change it for a sack of gold. Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the show. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Triad Theater with just the perfect number to open this particular show with There's No Business Like Show Business from the 1946 musical Annie, Get Your Gun. And I'm telling you one thing, there truly isn't any business like show business. Well, tonight we have gathered here to celebrate the life and music of the great American composer Irving Berlin, whose deserves an applause, whose 130th birthday we would have celebrated this year. So happy birthday, Mr. Berlin. And we are also here to celebrate the 100th centennial of his major hit, the unofficial American anthem, God Bless America, that he wrote 100 years ago during World War I. Tonight, I am retracing some of his amazing legacy with songs tied in with the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, a country in Europe, you know, small country in Europe, of which I happen to be a citizen. Now, here is his first international hit song that he composed in 1911 when he was 23 years old. And if you happen to know the song, please feel free to sing along. Oh my honey, let me tell you that let's meet and do. Ain't you going to the leader man, ragged leader man? Oh my honey, let me take you to Alexander's grandstand brass band. Ain't you coming along? Come on in here, Alexander's ragtime band. Come on in here, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before. So natural that you wanna go to war. That's just My little honey lamb, come on along, let me take you by the hand. Up to the man, the funny man, who's the leader of the band. And if you wanna hear the Swarmy River played in ragtime, come on and hear Richard Danley's ragtime band. Woo!
Yeah!
Hello, darling. Thank you for playing along. What's your name?
Rick.
Rick. And where are you from, Rick?
New York City.
Oh, thank you, Duncan. See, you can sit down again, my dear. That was very quick, but it was quite effective. As you know, I just love to play with the audience and take some of the poor victims on stage. Tonight it was Rick, the other day it was Sven from Germany. So you always have a very colored, mixture of people attending my shows. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I always say that, who needs Vince Jordan with the Nighthawks? If you have Richard Orchestra Danley playing for you on the piano. But back to my story. Israel Izzy Bailin was born as the youngest of 8 siblings into a Jewish family in a small village in Imperial Russia, today located in Belarus. The father was a cantor in a synagogue, and the family spoke only Yiddish, not Russian. After the pogroms burned down their village to ashes, the Bailins became refugees, and little Izzy shared the fate of fear and hunger like many other Jewish children. Briefenpreipatschick brennt auf Feuer und im Stuhl ist heiß und der Rebbe lernt kleine Kinderlach der Male verbeiß und der Rebbe lernt kleine Kinderlach der Male verbeiß. Sätsche Kinderlach, gängsche Teiere, was ihr lernt dort. Sagt sie noch einmal und tagen noch einmal, kommet's alle vor. Sagt sie noch einmal und tagen noch einmal, kommet's alle vor. Lernt Kinderlach, lernt mit Freude, lernt der Maler verbeiß. Glücklich ist der Ried, was kennt die Teure und uns alle verbeiß. Glücklich ist der Ried, was kennt die Teure und uns alle In 1893, the family boarded the Red Star Line and fled to America. The same exact line that Luxembourgish-born photographer Edward Steichen had taken 12 years earlier when he was 2 years old. Now, the interesting fact about Edward Steichen is he would become a very, very famous photographer, and he was also the curator of the photography department of MoMA between 1947 and 1962. He and Irving Berlin would become great friends and meet for photo sessions many years later at 17 Beekman Place. When little Izzy arrived at Ellis Island, he was 5 years old. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless temple endures. Give me you're tired, you're poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. This song. Which show is it from? Anybody?
The Statue of Liberty.
Miss Liberty.
Miss Liberty. The Statue of Liberty, yes, that's where the poetry is written in, yes. Very good. People have done their research. I asked that, on Friday during our premiere. There were lots of Irving Berlin fans there, and everybody knew exactly every little bit I was saying. So, I really better make sure I get all my facts right. The family, the Berlins, finally settled in the Lower East Side, the very poor, dirty, and dangerous area of Manhattan at the time. Izzy hardly went to school. He was mostly selling newspapers to bring pennies home and only found out about music by singing in the local choir of the local synagogue that would later on get him a job as a singing waiter at Pelham Cafe in Chinatown, earning $7 a week, a fortune at the time. Off shifts, he would tinker the old upright piano in the back saloon. In 1907, Marie from sunny Italy became his first published song. A printing error named him Irving Berlin, a name he decided to keep because it sounded more American.
My sweet Marie from sunny Italy, oh how I do love you. Say that you'll always love me too. Forevermore I will be true. Just say the word and I will marry you. And then you'll always be my sweet Marie from sunny Italy.
I'm your sweet Marie from sunny Italy. Oh, how I do love you.
Say that you'll
I'll always love you too. Forevermore I will be true.
just say the word.
Yes,
And
I will marry you, and then I'll always be your sweet Marie from sunny Italy. Merci. Not a very known number by Irving Berlin, I guess. I don't know. Anybody here that knows the song? Uh-huh, see? Good. So we can surprise you a little bit here and there. In 1918, then 30 years old, Irving Berlin finally received his American citizenship. only 25 years after he arrived at Ellis Island. But of course, nothing is for free in life. There was a purpose to it. He was recruited and stationed in Upton, Fort Upton in Yip Hank, Long Island. See, I can't even barely say this. This is a tongue twister to a German tongue, you know? In Fort Upton in Yip Hank, Long Island. Don't you think that sounds a little like a speech disorder? I had to practice that over and over and see, I'm still like getting it wrong. Anyway, while there, to boost troop morale, he wrote the musical Yip 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 Hank, famous for its song.
Over there.
No, not so much so, but what? Yes. Oh, how do I hate to get up in the morning? Something we all can relate to very much, right? Now, when the United States joined World War II, he wrote the musical. This is the Army. And in 1942, the US Department of the Treasury, that's a funny story actually, they commissioned Irving Berlin to help support the new Roosevelt administration's tax law, you know, to basically urge the average Joe to take pride in paying his taxes just like Rockefeller. So the song "I've Paid My Income Tax Today" literally just, you know, does that. So in order, you know, because of his contributions and troop morale and because he was such a patriot, he was awarded the Medal of the Merit by then President Harry Truman. I said to my Uncle Sam, "Old man taxes, here I am," but he was glad to see me. Yes, my small fry, yes indeed, lower brackets, that's my speed, but he was glad to see me. I've paid my income tax today. I've never felt so proud before to be right there with the millions more who paid their income tax today. I'm squared up with the USA. See those bombers in the sky? Rockefeller had to build them so they die. I paid my income tax today. Oh, how I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed. For the hardest blow of all is to hear the bugle call. You gotta get up, you gotta get up, you gotta get up in the morning. Someday I'm going to murder the bugler. Someday they're going to find him dead. I'll amputate his reveille and stack the bonnet heavily and spend the rest of my life in bed. Oh boy, the minute the battle is over. Oh boy, the minute the foe is dead. I'll put my uniform away and move to Philadelphia and spend the rest of my life in bed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Army, Mr. Jones. No private rooms or telephones. You had a housemaid to clean your floor, but she won't help you out anymore. This is the Army, Mr. Green. We like the barracks nice and clean. You had your breakfast in bed before, but you won't have it there anymore. No, no, do as the buglers command. They're in the Army and not in the band. This is the Army, Mr. Brown. You and your baby went to town. She had you worried, but this is war, and she won't worry you anymore. That's it. Ow. Irving Berlin, after all this, now a very rich man, moved his family to their new and final home at 17 Beekman Place. It had been 2 years after purchasing the house from James Forrestal, newly appointed first U.S. Secretary of Defense, when Pearl Mester, an American socialite, became the, drum roll please, newly appointed female ambassador to the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. Yes, you would think, right? Luxembourg, the little fly shit on the map. But indeed, our little country had this first female ambassador. You know, we have our own little flag. Oh, look at this. I'm such a patriot, okay? Irving Berlin would love this. I'm wearing my little American Luxembourgish flag stick. See, what, can you see the colors here? The Luxembourg flags, can you see this?
Yes.
And?
Red, white, and green. Woo!
No, it's not green, it's blue. It's blue, yes. See, we have our own national anthem. We have our own national language. It's not German. They would kill you if they knew that. You know, if you said that sounds like German, I promise you they'll kill you, okay? But it hasn't been an official language, basically, until 1984. And before it was actually considered a German dialect. You know, so we have our own soccer team. Nobody seems very impressed. I guess it's not so impressive because, you know, they're not very successful. But back to Pearl Mesta. Now, she was known as the hostess of the mostest for her lavish parties featuring the brightest stars of Washington, movie stars, and the creme de la creme of political life. She became Irving Berlin's inspiration for his musical Call Me Madam that he wrote in 1950, starring no other than Ethel Merman. I was born on 1,000 acres of Oklahoma land. Nothing grew on 1,000 acres, for it was gravel and sand. One day Father started digging in the field, hoping to find some soil. He dug and he dug, and what do you think? Oil, oil, oil. The money rolled in and I rolled out with a fortune piled so high. Washington was my destination, but now who am I? I'm the chosen party giver for the White House clientele, and they know that I deliver what it makes to make them gel. And in Washington, I'm known by one and all as the hostess with the mostest on the bar. They would go to Elsa Maxwell when they had an axe to grind. They could always grind an axe well at the parties she designed. Now the hatchet grinders all prefer to call on the hostess with the mostest on the bar. I've a great big bar and good caviar, it's the best that can be found, and a large amount in my bank account when election time comes round. When you're feeling presidential, you can make it, yes indeed. There are just 3 things essential. Let me tell you, all you need is an ounce of wisdom and a pound of gold, and the hostess with the mostest on the bar. An ambassador has just reached the shore. He's a man of many loves, an important gent from the Orient to be handled with kid gloves. He can come and let his hair down, have the best time of his life, even bring his new affair down, introduce her as his wife, but she mustn't leave her panties in the hall. For the hostess, who's the hostess with the mostest on the bar. Are these yours? They really fit you? I'm quite impressed. They barely fit me. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, can I keep them? Actually, they're quite cute, don't you think? I mean, look at them. I will keep those. Here we go. Quite kinky, the audience out there tonight, Richard, once again. It was indeed at 17 Beekman Place where Irving Berlin wrote this particular show, Call Me Madam, today owned by no other than the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, with the Luxembourgish Consulate, the Luxembourg Trade Office, and the permanent mission to the United Nations located inside. Now, but that's where he wrote Call Me Madam, the story about a newly appointed female ambassador, a chargée d'affaires, and a princess whose Grand Duke Otto is ruling the tiny duchy of Lichtenburg. Too small to be a city, too big to be a town, too poor to have an army, and too easy to knock down, too little to sail across the seas. Babies and cheese are our main industries. Too slow to please the young folk, too fast to please the old. Too many who have copper pennies, too few who have gold. But somehow we manage to play the game, while the other lands like France and the Netherlands and Germany and Great Britain and Italy and Spain. So let me give you some advice. Next time you don't want to pay your income tax in the United States, you know, don't bother singing a little Irving Berlin tune, it's not going to work. Just open an account in Luxembourg. Yeah, you know, Jerome Kern said that Irving Berlin doesn't have a place in American music. Irving Berlin is American music. In his 60, yes, you can clap. I think that's quite clappable. In his 60-year career, 60 years, just imagine, 60-year career, he wrote an estimate of 1,500 songs, many of them becoming major hits that made him very famous before he was 30. He wrote 20 Broadway shows, 15 Hollywood films, with many of his songs nominated 8 times for the Academy Awards. But the most interesting thing about the man, for me personally, is that he could never read music. And he was a very limited piano player, and by limited I mean limited. He could only play on the black keys in the key of F sharp, unless he was using his trick piano, equipped with a transposing lever. Clever, huh? But most and foremost, he wrote for the people, for the average person next door, using simple melodies and lyrics, making people feel loved and special. Now here are some of my all-time favorite songs from the Broadway and Hollywood era. I was blue, just as blue as I can be. Every day was a cloudy day for me. Then good luck came a-knocking at my door. Skies were gray, but they're not gray anymore. That's right. Blue sky smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurry by when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Swabba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-ba-ba-die, swabba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-ba-ba-die, swabba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo-bye, swabba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-ba-ba-die, swabba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-ba-ba-die, swabba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-dwee-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo-bye. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful, so they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, so they tell me. I can't recall who said it, I know I never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand, and the thing that's known as romance is wonderful, wonderful in every way. So they say. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I could hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and the cares that hung around me through the week seem to vanish like a gambler's lucky streak when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I'd like to climb a mountain and to reach the highest peak, but it doesn't thrill me half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Oh, I'd like to go fishing in a river or a creek, but I don't enjoy it half as much as dancing cheek to cheek. Dance with me, I want my arm about you, that charm about you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I could hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. Got no diamonds, got no pearls, still I think I'm a lucky girl. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
She's got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
Got no mansion, got no yacht, still I'm happy with what I've got. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
She's got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
Sunshine gives me a lovely day. Moonlight gives me the Milky Way. Got no heirlooms for my kin, made no well but when I cash in. I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
She's got the sun in the morning and the the moon at night.
And with the sun in the morning
And the moon in the evening.
I
She's all right.
Yeehaw! When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. When my bankroll is getting small, I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. I think about a nursery and I picture curly heads, and one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. So if you are worried and you can't sleep, count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. So if you're worried and you can't sleep,
Just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings.
This next song became a very, very famous standard, and it's probably one of the most beautiful and popular love songs ever written. And it surely is the most popular one written by Irving Berlin. And he presented it to his wife-to-be, Ellen McKay, on their wedding day, with all rights reserved. And the reason I love this song so very much, it's because of its simplicity, and also because Irving Berlin stayed true to her always. Everything went wrong, and the whole day long I'd feel so blue. While I'd forget to smile, then I met you. Now that my blue days have passed, now that I found you at last, I'll be loving you always, with the love that's true, always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair, always, that's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. not for just a year, but always, always, Yeah, I've been with my husband now 15 years, so that's kind of close to always, isn't it? Well, anyway, depends, I guess, how old you are, but to me it seems like always. But it's an inspiration, I would say, the song. Yeah. Then Irving Berlin wrote his famous musical White Christmas in 1954. I should say that he wrote it actually earlier. Parts of White Christmas were in the movie The Holiday Inn in 1942, and then Paramount Pictures basically filmed the movie in 1954 with Danny Kaye, Bing Crosby, and Rosemary Clooney starring in the film. Irving Berlin's own feelings about the holidays were ambivalent, however, because he and his wife Ellen McKay suffered a great tragedy at Christmas 1928, when their first and only son, Irving Berlin Jr., died only 3 weeks after birth. But a much happier event would bring joy to the family when they moved to 17 Beekman Place at Christmas 1947. A new home facing the East River that reminded him growing up poor in the Lower East Side. A new home where he would remain for the rest of his life. A new home where in 1989, at age 101, he died peacefully in his sleep, only a few steps away from his trick piano. Happy holiday, happy holiday. While the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true. Happy holiday, happy holiday. May the calendar keep ringing. Happy holidays to you. Come get together, let the dance floor feel your leather. Step as lightly as a feather, let yourself go. Come hit the timber, loosen up and start to limber. Let you hear that hot marimba, let yourself go. Let yourself go, relax, let yourself go, relax. You got yourself tied up in a knot. The night is cold, but the music's hot, so come on, cuddle closer. Don't you dare to answer no, sir. Put your back up, clock and grocer, let yourself go. Snow, it won't be long before we'll all be there with snow. Oh, I want to wash my hands, my face, my hair with snow. Snow, I long to clear a path and lift a spade of snow. Oh, to see a great big man entirely made of snow. Where it's snowing all winter through, that's where I want to be. Snowball throwing, that's what I do. How I'm longing to ski through the snow. Those glistening houses all seem to be made of snow. Oh, to see a mountain covered with a quilt of snow. What is Christmas with no snow? No white Christmas with no snow. The snow is snowing, the wind is blowing, and I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December. Just watch those icicles form. What do I care if icicles form? I've got my love to keep me warm. a flame grows higher, so I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I've got my love to keep me warm. Woohoo! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Every road leads to an end, and I would like to say thank you all for coming out here tonight and for celebrating the life and music of this great American composer. Please give another big round of applause to my fantastic arranger, accompanist, pianist, and partner in crime, Richard Danley, here on the piano. You know, for all of you who don't know, we have worked together 15 years, going on 16 years next year. Oh my goodness, it feels like a marriage, you know. He knows my every move on stage, and he knows me better than my husband in some aspects. That's kind of scary, don't you think?
I met you before.
I know, and we also fight like an old married couple, you know, sometimes when he has to put up with all my little changes last minute. Oh, Richard, we gotta change this, blah, 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 blah. And then shortly before the second show, oh, we have to change this again, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, yeah, we wish Richard, of course, all the best, because you don't know, but he's gonna have a major operation on his right hand, not very good for a pianist. So he's gonna be out of it for about 3 months, so we wish you a speedy recovery, Richard. Because we need you. Then, of course, I would like to say thank you to the very lady who wrote the script for this particular show. She is a person who brings people together, who loves Irving Berlin, who loves music in general, and who loves people, and I love her. Miss Laurence Pierron. Thank you so much. Where are you? Listen, I don't know where you are. Come on, get up. I must tell you, it's very great to see. I must tell you, I see basically really a brand new audience here. I see 2 friends. That's it. It's quite amazing. So I'm very excited to have a lot of new people here, and the people you should know. I always write my own scripts. People call me a control freak. I'm not. But I write my own scripts, and always for the last 12 years. And this is the first time I'm performing somebody else's script. But this what gave me the idea to do this wonderful show here as part of my residency at the Triad Theater. And of course, thank you very much, everybody here at the Triad, as usual. Shannon Epstein on sound and light for making the sound look beautiful. And then Peter Martin, my producer here at the Triad Theater, for producing the show. I have to tell you, we have a show coming up on March 27. I know that's a few months ahead, but I want to tell you, we're doing Adrienne Haan Sings Kurt Weill again, an hour-and-a-half show. Yes, please come. If you haven't seen the show, featuring the Dan Levinson Quintet and, of course, Richard Danley, hopefully on piano. So we'll have a sextet up on stage, and it's an hour-and-a-half show, quite a long show. So March 27th at 7 p.m., mark that in your calendars and don't forget. Now we're going to say goodnight now with the most popular Christmas song ever written in history. The song, according to the Guinness Book of Records, is the most sold single of all times, featuring Bing Crosby. More than 15 million records. All of you grew up listening to the song. I, back in Germany, in Luxembourg, grew up listening to the song, and my parents even. You know, my dad was born in the 50s, my mom also. They were listening to the song back in Luxembourg and in Germany in the 50s and 60s, which I think is quite amazing if you really think about it. We're going to say goodnight now, and we wish you, of course, a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, a beautiful December, and of course, a joyous and very healthy 2019, and I will see you then again on one of the stages of New York City or elsewhere in the world. And you are most welcome now to sing along with me, because I know that you know the song. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Come on, everybody. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Thank you so much.
One more.
Do you really think so? Yeah. We will see. How much do you want an encore, by the way? Okay, my dear. Where the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices to a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the